Azov Corps rushes to block Russian advance, threatening key cities in Donetsk Oblast. Deployment targets the area where the Russian breakthrough threatens the Pokrovsk encirclement and road access to Donetsk Oblast cities. The 1st Corps of the National Guard Azov has taken defensive positions on the Pokrovsk front, moving to block Russian forces advancing in Donetsk Oblast. According to the Corps' official statement, the recent Russian breakthrough towards Dobropilya threatens the defense of Pokrovsk. Russian forces have been trying to take the city and surrounding areas since early 2024. The deployment of one of Ukraine's most disciplined and combat-experienced brigades comes as Russian forces have advanced more than 23 kilometers deep into Ukrainian positions toward the Dobropilya-Kramatorsk road. Regular Ukrainian defensive units have proven unable to halt advance in this critical sector. According to Ukrainska Pravda, the 23-kilometer Russian salient now sits equidistant between Pokrovsk and Kostanivka. The Corps moved into what has been described as one of the most difficult sections of the front. The area was previously defended by tactical group Pokrovsk, which absolutely could not cope with defense on this section. The situation remains complex and dynamic, Azov stated. The enemy, trying to advance in that direction, suffers significant losses in personnel and equipment. Corps units have planned and implemented measures to block Russian forces in the designated area, though results will be announced later. Recent weeks saw intensified pressure, with 3 sabotage groups of 50 personnel each infiltrating Pokrovsk itself. Ukrainian forces eliminated approximately 120 attackers while capturing others. 100,000 Russian troops are currently stationed in the area. The 23-kilometer Russian salient threatens encirclement. Russian forces have dramatically expanded their breakthrough along the Pokrovsk-Kostanivka road. What began as a 10-kilometer salient in May 2025 near Melanivka, Novopoltavka, and Novolenivka has now extended to 23 kilometers. On 11th August, deep state analysts reported a Russian advance northeast of nearby Dobropilya, warning that after final consolidation and accumulation, there will be mandatory attempts to move deeper into the territory. Ukraine's Dnipro command disrupted the implications of these advances, stating that Russian infiltration attempts never lead to territorial capture and that Ukrainian troops have eliminated infiltrators in the shortest possible time. Meanwhile, according to Deep State, Russian assault groups have entered the villages of Kocharev Yar, Zoloty Kolodiaz, and Vasily, while also building up forces in the area. The Institute for the Study of War said that Russian troops have likely taken several other settlements southeast and east of Dobropilya and partially cut the TO515 Pokrovsk-Dobropilya highway, a key supply route for the Ukrainian troops. According to Zelensky, groups of Russian soldiers are carrying out the advance in the area mostly on foot and with light vehicles, with no support from heavier armored vehicles. Some have already been located, some killed, some taken prisoner, he said on August 12, pledging that the rest will also be found and destroyed in the near future. According to Deep State, Moscow is indeed relying on small infantry units to infiltrate the Dobropilya sector, bypassing a porous first line of defense and establishing footholds for further attacks. Ukrainian brigades, even the military's top units, are severely under strength in infantry, thanks both to failures to fix mobilization processes countrywide and the increasingly deadly nature of holding frontline infantry positions under a sky saturated with Russian drones. As a result, over 2025, larger roads have opened in Ukrainian lines, while Russian forces have sought to exploit with waves of small, stealthy infantry assaults. The situation is chaotic, Deep State wrote in its August 11 update. The enemy, having found gaps in our defense, is seeping deeper, trying to quickly entrench and amass forces for further advances. If they occupy our fortifications, it will be extremely difficult to dislodge them. At the same time, prominent Ukrainian officers and military experts have raised alarm about the new gains, saying that they point to the wider systemic problems in the Ukrainian military, which have been evident for a while but remained ignored by the top command. Former Azov officer Bohdan Kratovich, a vocal critic of the Ukrainian command's outdated practices and poor strategic planning that often lead to territorial losses and unnecessary casualties, said that in the Pokrovsk, Kostanivka sector, the front line as a stable line no longer exists.
Segura eles. Tá filmando? Onde você parou ontem?
The systemic problem began with the depletion of reserves, the mass fragmentation of units along the entire front line, and reports of a captured village being presented as a victory against the backdrop of failures across entire sectors, Kratovich said, adding that there is a complete absence of strategic and even operational vision of the theater of war among part of the military leadership.